Hi everyone.
Hi.
E.T. here, along with my sister Haley, and as we usually commandeer this live show, let me actually just shut the door real quick. So hopefully we're coming in nice, loud, and clear because we are testing a new live streaming service. So
hopefully it works a lot better.
Yes, as you know, we've been using Twitch for the last 9 months. And I've had nothing but problems. It has been like the worst thing ever. And being someone who's very technical, like I've said before, you think I would know how to do a live stream. And it's so frustrating that I can't figure it out. So I was like, you know what? I'm tired of having all of these problems. So hopefully moving to a different service. And then I also like the ability with this show is that we're able to embed this live feed actually on apixal.com. Which I think is nice. I think it keeps it clean, and we've made the chat room. Hopefully you're able to see the chat room on the side. If you don't see the chat room, not in the video, but on the website, we learned that you have to have the most up-to-date Flash player installed in your web browser, and I hate Flash, so I do apologize in advance, but let us know what you think, if our video and audio is coming in really good. And then what we felt would be nice is just an easier way to archive our shows. So right below this video, there's a past broadcast section. And so then after we do a broadcast, we'll upload it to our YouTube feed and then just link it here to our website. So hopefully it'll just be a lot easier for people to find us, watch the videos, and then get engaged with our future shows. So fingers are crossed. And
hopefully it works better.
Yes, and so hopefully, since this is our first time, if you're watching this live with us, feel free to jump in the comments and go from there. But I just want to check one thing because my thing is black. So let's just see.
Make sure we're coming through.
Yes, let's make sure that the video's coming through. We just did 2 tests of this too, so
it's working perfectly before this. I promise.
Okay, it looks like it is. It looks like it is, so that's good. Yay! There we are. It's always so weird watching yourself. And the only thing is, since we're a free account right now, we have to unfortunately bear with these ads. So give us any feedback. hello@apixal.com, that kind of stuff. So, well, Mrs. Ruiz.
Yes.
Another week has come to pass.
Another busy week.
The weeks here at Apixal seem to fly by, don't they? It's just like, what makes them seem like they go so fast?
I mean, ever since we started working, my husband and I, full-time here, it has been crazy how fast time goes.
Yeah.
Like, both of our other jobs, everything, we've talked about this a lot, that time always went so slow during our other work, that we did. And since we've been full-time here, it's like, oh my God, it's already the end of the day. Like, every day goes by super fast.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I guess, it means that we love what we do, which is good.
Yes.
But it's like, the scary thing is, like, you're working on something and all of a sudden you look at the clock and like, oh my God, 4 hours have passed. So, yeah, so it's been another busy, productive week. As we've talked about in past shows, Haley has taken over our 3D concept and creature design. Which is really exciting. And so you made some progress. A lot of the stuff that you were doing this week was a lot about training.
Yes, a lot of training.
A lot of training, getting you up to speed on ZBrush and modeling. And I know I gave you the first tutorial, which was kind of the introduction, and then you've moved right into
a professional level course.
It was like kind of crazy because it was, what did they say? Like, this is not for newbies, you need to understand.
You need to know ZBrush, and you need to have a basic understanding of this. And if you're an artist and no concept, then this is for you. I'm like, oh, I'm none of those things. I just started, like, last week into this. I am not, and it's, like, big professional training. I was like, oh, dear.
Yeah, so I'm definitely putting you through the ringer, aren't I?
Yes.
No, I'm sorry, but not really. We've got
I know, I was not saying no, you're not.
No.
I don't expect anything else.
We've got a lot of work to do, so.
Yes.
So, I mean, I'll kind of recap your week. So, you've been learning ZBrush, and now you've jumped into this big kind of creature thing.
Yes.
So, talk about that, and I'll see if I can bring up some images of some things that you've been working on for your training.
So the initial start to ZBrush, it's super intense. I mean, if anybody's worked with ZBrush before, obviously there's tons of tools. You work with textures, materials, sculpting, molding. There's different brushes you can use for everything. So just trying to learn what this program is completely capable of is just crazy. I mean, they have breakdown little videos of each little tool that you could go through, but of course, you didn't let me watch those. I just jumped into a big project.
Yes.
So just after getting the basics of knowing how to use the program and the tools, now I am starting to mold this creature.
Yes, I think this is the creature that in the thing you're supposed to work on, right?
This is my mutated creature that is my project. So hopefully by the end of this project, I'll have something that looks comparatively to that.
Yes.
It's a big, you start off with just a basic human figure mesh.
Yes, which I'm bringing up right now. So this is this your mesh that you have so far, what you're working on? Let me switch over to it. Like this is one thing, right?
Yes, that's like what I'm working on now. Like you start off with this basic human mesh.
Yeah.
And you start pulling and moving things. That's the basic one that you start off with.
Okay. This is kind of like where you're at right now, yeah?
Yes,
okay.
Exactly. So you add these like big boil things, and I have 3 screens that I work on. So I put the concept art on one of my screens so I can constantly look at that. And then my middle screen is where I'm molding it. So every time I try to look at the concept art, try to match where the big boils are and stuff like that. You just use a basic brush, pull out the different mesh that you start with to mold it out. Then the next step I had to do was cut off his hand to make this big claw part of his hand.
Yes.
So you cut off his hand, you have to stretch it out, try to get the proportions right. So, because you still want the basic human shape to him, you don't want to lose that.
Yeah.
But he has to have this big claw. So now you stretch
That's a
it
claw?
out. That's the start of it.
Oh,
you
that's
have to
the
pull
start
the
of the claw.
fingers from
Oh,
it.
okay, you guys. So you're working on pulling the fingers from it now.
He's
Okay.
gonna have the big claw. So right now that you cut off his hand, you pull his arms, stretch it out to get the right proportions, and then I'll pull fingers from it. I'm chiseling out his chest and getting all like the basic human details in him right now.
Okay. So what is this all leading up to? What do you think?
What do you mean, like the creature?
Yeah. So what's kind of the goal of the training so far that you've been doing?
It's just to work on basic human shapes.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the hardest thing you can do because a human figure is so symmetrical.
Yes.
So I think that's one of the biggest challenges is if you're doing something human a lot of creatures are symmetrical. So working on that. But then with this one, it's just learning how to add a ton of different elements, like big boils, he's got fungus, he's got little details like skin, how you have like sagging skin and like all these other kind of concepts that you could add to your creatures to make them look really crazy. So this is a big basic of some of the different things you can do to make them look creepy.
So it looks like some folks have made it, which is fantastic. So I'll just chat with them. Hey, Birdiefoot.
Hey.
So that's good. At least people have found their way here, which is always a good thing. But it looks like Baxter is having a little bit of problems getting in here. Because the only thing I haven't been able to really understand yet was whether you have to have a Ustream account to be able to chat. But I did enable a thing where you can just chat anonymously. So that's what I'm hoping that people will be able to do. I'm just going to confirm with him if the audio, video good. Yes, Bergie's asking, what did you miss these past couple weeks?
Oh dear.
Yes, so that's good. So obviously we're working on you're working on your first creature that you're going to do on your own, which we are in an area of the game called Evermore. Which is one of the first magical sanctuaries in the game. And it's in the desert area. It's got a lot of ruins, pyramids, kind of type stuff. And one of the creatures that kind of populates this little area in the game called Evermore are...
The beetles?
Yes! Beetles. I think there's something really creepy and eerie about beetles, scarab-type beetles being kind of moving around. So your first task is to really design our first beetle in the game. And then we're figuring out with your husband, Jose, kind of what that process is if you're doing the mesh, and then if he's going to be coloring and painting it, and then, I'll be bringing it into the actual game. So lots of stuff going on there, yeah?
Yes.
Excellent. Let's see what we got here. Oh, good. Yay, saying that our audio and video. Hopefully this works pretty well. Yeah, this I thought was a lot easier to set up.
Good.
Yeah, but it's not, if we want to go with the pro stuff, which I think, I'm not sure if embedding in websites is pro, which I'm sure it is, then of course it's going to be a cost. But, you know, this was actually fairly easy to set up. So within the hour I was able to create the Ustream account, connect this thing, and so far it looks like the audio, and it looks, I can even watch myself here live, so, which I hadn't done before, so that's good. So Jose, we have kind of stumbled upon some new software that we're kind of exploring right now. We have a 3-week trial. I don't know if anyone's heard of it, called Substance Painter and Substance Designer. Essentially, I'll kind of show you some screens of what Jose is working on right now. So he's learning a tool that we may use in the game, which allows you to import a mesh and go in and paint it and add materials and things like that. And then what we're hoping is that he'll be able to use that to paint and do all this kind of stuff on your models, which is really good.
Because in ZBrush you can do those kind of things. You can add textures and use poly paints and that kind of thing. But hopefully with this pipeline, I'll be able to sculpt out the basic structure of it, get the geometry and all the meshes put together, then send it over to him where he can finish painting it, getting him textured, and then I can start on the next monster.
Yes.
So it's hopefully I'll speed up the pipeline versus me just having to sculpt it, paint it, texture it all in one.
Yeah, and obviously designing one creature is quite a bit amount of work, but another kind of little fun thing that we started the week off, well actually we didn't start the week off, let me switch to my desktop here, and we're gonna sorry about that if you guys were on the live feed. I think there was some feedback. I was pulling the audio in from my computer and the Yeti, so I think that was what the problem was. But I think on the published version, we should be good to go. But yeah, 14. So, I mean, it's, like we said before, I think it's a great indication that we've got something really cool and we're working on it. But to be number 14 out of 4,500 in the last year, I'll take it.
Yes, exactly.
That's good. So that's really good news. So I think we should be back on now. So that's good news. And then what else do we have going on? So Zay's working on that. You're working on that. I'm working on the UI. And so before I switch back over to my desktop, because I'm worried that for those of you on the live feed, you're going to get more feedback. So let me just add a new local desktop. And I'm going to do no on the capturing the audio Okay, so there we go. So let me try this one and see if this will work a little bit better. Present to, and let me switch the audio to our, there we go. So let's see. All right, let us know if this is any better. All right, switching to, let me know if the audio is okay. Changed some settings. So we should be switching over there here really quick, I think, actually. Or is that an ad? Oh, of course. An ad shows up, yeah. But I'll show you, hopefully this will go through. I know I'm recording it, so it should be good. But I'll show you the UI that I kind of finished up for the game. So let's go to main menu. All right, so let me zoom out a little bit. This is Sketch, which is a wonderful application for the Mac for designing UIs and things like that. So this is the idea, and basically I have it pretty much all implemented inside of Unity right now. Everything right here is disabled for the moment because we're not going to have any online server stuff for a while, but it's there so that it's easy for us to plug in. Also, this create a passport is there, but right now we just have a play offline button. So the idea, you know, I've talked about and over the last couple months is the UI for Phoenix Dawn. I wanted it really clean, really simple. You know, the focus isn't the UI, the focus is the actual game. So having it be as less distracting as possible and just there to provide you with the information that you need to get the game done. So so this was kind of a theme that you'll kind of see throughout this play process. And I talked about in our last live feed, the only reason why we're going to have a passport type system is to integrate our 3D printing within the game, which we're really excited about. So for you, the ability to be able to buy objects within the game and things like that, you'll need an account for. So we're just kind of getting ready on that side. Okay, awesome. So it looks like the audio is good. Yeah, I think, yeah, the problem was it was picking up the audio and stuff. So yeah, I mean, do you guys have any thoughts on kind of a flatter UI? So I'll kind of zoom in, you know, so the font that we're using, ironically, is a fun, what do you call it? Yes, it's called Quicksand, which I thought was kind of cool. But I wanted something really kind of clean and crisp, and to get the blurring and that kind of stuff happening behind the UI. So this is kind of the theme that you're going to see. So any thoughts or suggestions on the UI design if we continue with this model? I know it's a little unconventional for a lot of games, especially an RPG game. I think a lot of people sometimes expect to have a highly stylized UI. Yes. And we're kind of going with a much cleaner and crisp UI. So that's kind of the inspiration behind that here. And now what I'm learning is I'm learning how to lerp or to move UI elements. So I'll show you what this looks like in the actual game. So let's fire up Unity here. Oh, come on. Now everyone's going to have my personal email address, but whatever. And I can't remember my password. It's supposed to remember me. That's why this little remember me thing is checked. This is just craziness. Okay, there we go. All right, so Phoenix Dawn, Rise of the Witch. All right, so if you can remember, so this is that same UI pretty much rebuilt inside of Unity, so it's actually working. It's not just a graphic design. Let me hit play, and let me move this game tab. As you can see right now, this is just a scene view, so it doesn't show you all of your stuff, but what I was able to get done today is being able to, I wanted when the game starts for this UI panel to kind of slide into view, and it's not going to be this slow. It's just right now my computer with the streaming is like overloading. But let me bring over a game tab. So let me do window. Let's go. Let's add a new game tab. I think I should not. Let me just drag this tab over here. So here we go. So this is what it would look like here in the game. So I wanted the background to kind of fade in, and then that kind of just slides out. I've got some issues here with the actual size of it, but now I'm working on getting these to kind of link up and start the other UIs and then taking this into the actual game. So just something kind of, you know, this, like I said, it's not this slow. It's so slow. Like, that would be so annoying to start the game. Like, come on, you stupid little slide thing to come out. So it's just the speed of my computer, because this live streaming stuff just takes a lot. So that's kind of the art direction for the UI, and hopefully people will enjoy that part of it. So let's go ahead and jump back into the video stuff. Yeah, so we've got some UI stuff going on we're learning about, which the code it's funny because the lerping, lerping basically stands for something like linear interpretation. It's like moving something from point A to point B. And I remember the first like little mini game that I designed last year, I had to do a lot of lerps. And it was one of the hardest things from a programming knowledge standpoint to do. So actually, I want to show them what some of this code looks like to get it to lerp out of fun. Oh, look at that worm. I didn't want the worm. Sorry, everyone. You can stare at this ugly worm's mouth real quick. But I'll just show you real quick what one of the pieces of code looks like to create actually just that simple movement in the thing. So let me go ahead and fire up mono develop, which is almost the spawn of something very bad. It's not the most intuitive nor fun browser to use. So let me pull this over here. Oops, come back. Here we go. Okay, so here's some of the code for the main menu. Let me make it a little bit bigger. So basically what happens is, if you're familiar with code at all, when the script is started, I have it right in this area down here. Start coroutine, it basically fades in, it creates the movie plane, and then also slides in the UI. So the code to actually just slide in the plane is down here. So this is the entire little function script here to move that little thing, but these are called IEnumerators, and basically, I can drag in a target object, and then I create, basically what it does is it looks at the object that I gave it, and it kind of conforms to its height and that kind of stuff, and then while old position does not equal new position, then this is actually where the magic happens. This is the while loop, so this is the stuff that's actually moving the panel over. And the thing that I need to work on next is actually also lerping the blurred background of the next thing. So yeah, so this is, and right now I'm debugging a lot of the scripts. So that's why a lot of the script that you can see here is all commented out. But this is actually, I'm so proud of this code right here. You have no idea how proud of this code. This is really fantastic stuff, and I wish I could. But this is crazy. Like, to get the movie full screen, basically this is the code that creates the planes that make sure no matter what screen size that you have, that the video plays at the right aspect ratio, which the aspect ratio that we're using is 16.9. And it's just incredibly complex. I could not believe it. And then I have a bunch of little things put in here so I can reuse this code and make it more adaptable. So yes, I am Mr. Coder, but I am really liking it. And one of the things that we talked about, we have a team meeting every morning. I'm going to go ahead and switch back there. Is we talk about that things, even though it feels easier, like I was able to write the script to actually slide in that panel probably within an hour. It's not getting any easier. We're just getting better. Which I think is a really important reminder that things aren't getting easier, is that you get better at things, and that's why they seem to be easier. So, and why I did that, I just ignored everyone on the on the chat. So I'm hoping that that's not that thing, but. Anyhow, so that's kind of where we're at, and obviously coming back next week, I'll kind of tell you a couple timelines that we have in our head. I think it's always a good idea for people who come and watch our live feeds to be the most up to date on everything, So our kind of internal goals right now is, as you know, the novel is coming along, so we have 2 more weeks of editing in the novel. So Josh has been working really hard this week on a crazy list of edits and paper of things that need to get changed.
a lot of edits.
Yes, just making sure that it's a really fascinating story. So we gave ourselves this week, next week, and the week after to do all of the final edits on the novel. And then July 6th, we're going to be submitting it to our editor, who will then, look for grammar and, story elements and things like that. And we're hoping to have the finished novel in by mid to late July, basically the final document that would be able to use to submit to the iBookstore, Amazon, Kindle, things like that. And then we have to send that off to a printer. We're going to do a print of maybe about 100 copies and see where that goes. And so our goal is to launch the novel mid-August, which right now the date that we have in mind is August 15th, which happens to be another very special day. Why, Haley?
It's my birthday.
It's your birthday, and you're going to be 26?
Yes.
26, and you look like you're 16.
I know. I know.
Oh, you look like you're 16. That's so sad. And you're like half off the screen. Why are you like half off the screen? Just get over here. So we're hoping that August, which is a Saturday, so that we can launch the book August 15th. And then our goal for the game is to have a playable demo by August 15th. So that those can all come out at the same time. So we basically got 2 months of getting the game into a good position where people can actually play it and that kind of stuff. And then also the novel will be out, so that'll be a great new source of income, hopefully, and just kind of see what people think of what we've done so far. So
2 more months.
2 more months. So we've got a really long, hard game dev summer coming up, and it already has been a long, hard game summer, and there's a lot more to come. So, so with that, God, we've been talking for 30 minutes.
Oh, geez.
I don't know how you guys can bear to stand listening to our voices for that long, for 30 minutes, but let's see. So if you have any thoughts after this broadcast on what you think of the quality, and then if it's easier just to go to apixal.com/live feeds, with actually a new little button up on our menu to find this, and then shortly after this, we will add this archive down to the bottom, so it's really easy to watch our shows and keep up to date with what's going on at Apixal.
Yeah.
So, all right. A pleasure, a treasure, a joy I cannot measure every single time. So we will be back next Friday, same time, same place.
Hopefully my husband will actually be on this one.
Right.
So give everyone one more person.
Yeah, we may have a special guest, Jose Ruiz, my sister's husband, who's doing all the materials back here. So, and we should hopefully see some beginnings of a beetle. Yeah. Possibly. Maybe some sketches.
Start that on Monday, getting after the beetle, and hopefully designing something really cool. And
it'll be fun.
Yeah.
So
exciting.
We're excited. So like always, continue to give us feedback on what you think,
let us know.
See what you think of these live feeds. But it's good to be back here. Birdiefoot, I can't remember if you've been on a live feed since Comic-Con, but so good to see you. So good to see you. It's always good to see Kickstarter backers in the flesh, and very, very smart guy. And so really, really wonderful. Probably one of the highlights of Comic-Con is just to meet you and your family in person. So we're all
I didn't
really
get
happy
to
about
meet you. I was the White Witch upstairs. I never forgot
you didn't meet Bergie.
No, I missed you, and I was so sad.
Dang.
They said you stopped by, but
yes,
man.
that was the first day, I think, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yes, as you were the White Witch. So
yes.
Good times. Fun. And we may even have some artwork from the novel to share.
Yes, exactly.
Gareth Davies, I guess, is in Wales over the weekend. Which I was hoping he might get some sun, but it's England, so I don't think
it's going to be rainy.
Yeah, it's going to get rainy. But he's going to spend a lot of time, he said, working on doing some concept stuff for a novel.
Very exciting, actually, seeing it come.
Yes, it's all looking good. So, anyways, all have a fantastic weekend. Yes. We're going to have a great weekend. We're going to have a really productive, awesome week next week, and we'll see you next Friday, and we'll give you all the updates on what's happening here at Apixal office in Little Cheyenne, Wyoming. So, all right, everyone, it's been fun, and we will see you next time. Bye.